Hey there. I built a solar generator. It's a little DIY project I did that is capable of running a microwave or even, say, like a Keurig when I'd be out camping. This thing's pretty cool. I'm actually quite happy how it turned out. You got the two 120 volt plugins, which are water resistant, and then front here you got 4 USBs there, and then the cigarette lighter socket. The reason I ended up going with this socket and leaving in there, because, well, I don't smoke, but is, well, you got all the car accessories, and then you also have a, say, like a car cooler, which acts as much like a refrigerator when you're camping, would go into that socket. That's definitely cool. It'll give me the ability to have, well, a refrigerator and not have to worry about ice and all that type of stuff. That's basically the front side. Here on the side here is a battery kill switch that will kill all the input and output to and from the battery. This side, let me turn it over here, get that light. This side over here is the exhaust fan. If it gets over 110 Fahrenheit in there, it'll kick on a fan and exhaust it out of it. Right there is an inlet for charging. I'm going to hook up an extension cord, which I keep in the top here, basically be able to charge it back up off the grid. And then here at the bottom is the 4 Anderson connectors for solar. And of course, all that is also water resistant. We're back up to the front here. The air inlet for the whole thing, because if you have exhaust, you need an inlet, is right here. It brings all the air up into the system to cool it off. It's all built inside this Craftsman versatile stack system. They also have another one which has wheels on it, but you could build even a slightly bigger system with it. However, my wife has a Mustang, so I didn't. Pretty much, this is about as big as it fit in the car. This thing's pretty big. It's 43 amp hours at 48 volts, so it can go and go for a really long time. Cooking popcorn, looks like it used about 1% or so off of it there. The whole system is pretty much built to where I can fix it if anything goes wrong and with it. Up here, I ended up getting inspired by the other YouTuber, much like the case and everything like that, to basically have Velcro storage area. That's an extension cord for charging or using out of the front of the unit. Some USB-A's, USB-C's. This here is basically the power coming in from the 120 volts there to charge up the system. You got the inverter there that inverts everything away, and then you got the 3 batteries here, which are held in by Velcro, just in case the unit ever got shifted to its side or anything. I don't want the batteries basically destroying the case. System could basically hold pretty much any battery that can fit in the case. It could hold much bigger batteries. To tell you the truth, it could be even much larger and heavier. It's got a temperature control system right there. That's the one I was talking about. When it hits 110, the fan will kick on here and exhaust everything out, and yeah, the inlet's down there. So yeah, that's a basic system. You got like a fuse box, the bus bar for the negative side. There's a solar charge controllers right there. It's made to also come out for if I need to use it, say on solar tour. So yeah, this is how I built the whole entire system. All the parts can be found down in the description below and purchased off Amazon. Anything that doesn't work out, Amazon usually has free returns. You can swap it. Also, I chose to use some higher end parts to be able to get the water resistance. There is options to use much cheaper parts to bring the cost of this down, but I wasn't necessarily looking to build something economical. I was looking to build something a little bit more water resistant that I'd be able to take camping, and if I heard a little bit of rain, I wouldn't, you know, have a heart attack that my whole system's gonna fry. Because yeah, between everything in there, I mean, you're talking about quite a bit of money. I'll try to add it up and put it on the screen here. But yeah, this is how I built the thing. Now this is just the mock-up I have of it. I pretty much used packing tape and put everything roughly about where I wanted. You can see even like the fan outlet there, and then some of the front ports. And this was basically to plan out a lot of my wire lengths and everything. I already got a lot of my wires pre-cut, and well, actually I pretty much got all the wires pre-cut except some of the 12 volt stuff. So pretty much I just got to come in and I'll start removing this prototype design I have in here. Should have it all roughly in memory. And then I'm going to start bolting some of the stuff down, and I'll probably get a hole here for the fan drilled in real quick. Holes over here, and the 110, 120 volt sockets there, and a couple inputs there. But yeah, first I got to take everything out of the box. What's really cool about this tool chest is already in between here. It's exactly 80 millimeters. So if you get an 80 millimeter fan, if it's exactly in between those two supports there, which is really nice. Okay, to make the hole for the fan, basically I'm going to leave the fan in there, and I'm going to drill all the 4 holes to be able to get the center for the fan hole. Now they got the first hole drilled, I'm going to put a bolt through it basically to keep it from moving around, so everything stays straight. And I'm going to go on and do that for the next 3 holes. I'm quite happy how that turned out. It looks pretty good. Got that filter fan cover in it. Even though that's an outlet, it'll still keep things from getting into the box. Here's the back side. Yeah, looks pretty good. Had to, of course, pick up the hardware. The fans don't come with them. They come with the PC fan screws, so I had to go to Lowe's to pick those up. I took a couple trips, grabbed the wrong bolt size for the inverter. But anyways, so this is the outlet. It'll be hooked up to a temperature controller, and then down here will be the inlet. Still haven't figured out, but yeah, I need to somehow put a filter over that area too, so basically a bunch of stuff doesn't get inside of the box. Got the inlet port cut out now. Now I just need to probably just hot glue for now a carbon filter over it, so when the air's coming in, it'll filter the dust out. Yeah, that'll work. A little bit of hot glue, and yeah. Alright, and now for the front cover plate. This will be with a 12 volt and 2 USBs and a switch will be. For that, I'm going to do the same thing. I got to tape down perfectly into position. Alright, now that I got the plate mounted with its screws, I can go ahead and remove the tape. And now I just need to drill the 4 socket holes. So pretty much I'm going to find the center on them and then drill them from there. I think that looks pretty good. Siliconed everything in, the back cover, all the plugs and everything. That stuff you see everywhere is silicone. That's what she looks like on the back end. Pretty much no wiring yet, of course. I'm gonna put the screen right about there, so I marked the thing off with blue tape and traced around it. The 3 sides. The bottom side is marked by the tape. I'm gonna cut that out real quick. I'm gonna use my soldering iron to heat an X-Acto knife to try to get a real nice cut on it. We'll see how that goes. Wow, bang! Got the hole carved out here. In the end, I ended up doing quite a bit of whittling to get it to line up perfect. The hole isn't 100% perfect, but what really matters is when the screen goes in to make sure everything lined up flat. And there with it in, you can see everything's lined up perfect and looks like I made a perfect hole. So that's all I care about, is what it looks like on the outside pretty much. Got 2 starter holes started for the front 110 volt plug-ins. Basically you're going to use those 2 holes to start the hole for them. Use tape to pretty much line up everything straight. Got the outlets done. What you see around it is silicone there. Basically, once it dries, I should be able to roll it off and clean it up. I got the screen out temporarily just so it doesn't get damaged during the installation. Here on the back side, I got a port drilled, one for the solar input, and then the other one for 110 input. That will connect up to one of the charge controllers inside the case. I think that came out looking pretty good. I like it, definitely. Okay, so pretty much just need to mount the inverter inside. I need to put the mounting bolts for that, and then I can start wiring it all up. Nice. I'm going to mount the 110 charge controller up here in the lid to save on some room. It pretty much is a perfect fit. I'll have to make a couple millimeters back here on each side for the cord for it to sit flush, and then probably gonna Velcro it up into there. Okay, got the charger installed into the lid there. Gonna give everything a quick vacuum out to get all the plastic pieces out, and then gonna mount the inverter with 4 bolts onto this side. Got the inverter mounted using some bolts and wing nuts. Had black ones, just like that one there, but unfortunately I tried to cut them in half and messed up the threading, so they don't work anymore. Here you can see one of them. This is the reason I chopped them in half. It was blocking the 2 outlets there. So this one's not going to end up having a wing nut on it. I'll probably end up just hot gluing it, leaving it as a post just to kind of keep everything tight in there. But that should definitely work. Now pretty much I need to start onto the wiring, and once I get everything wired up to the fuse box and the bus bar, I'm going to hot glue them, one there and probably the negative bus bar there. Got the main inverter mounted, still waiting on those bolts to dry, but now I got all the wire harnesses added into it. You have the one for the battery, comes up over here, goes into a power strip. The negative's coming up over this side. It's going to lead to a switch. This XT60 here would be either for solar input or from the house line 110, and then same with this one over here. It's just the other one just like that. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. A little bit of a tight squeeze in here with the front plug-ins, but it looks like everything worked out. I'll just put a little bit of tape around the outside, try to make them water resistant as much as possible. I mean, this is going to pull air through it anyway, so. Here's the adapter I ended up making for the 110 charger. It's basically just a bullet connector to a XT60. Fairly easy to make, or you may be able to find them online. I'm not too sure. I make a lot of my own wires there. But this basically will plug into there like that. Then this end here plugs into there. So that's the way I'm able to do the house charging off of it. Now mounting the shunt here. Basically it goes through the negative line. So negative connects there, goes to there, and then to the switch. Of course I also need to power the shunt, and then the display screen hooks up here, which goes to the front. Should have plenty of wire for that. I think they included like 20 some feet with it, so. Okay, got the shunt installed. Pretty much just need to run a line from here to there where I'm gonna add the switch in. Just need to drill a hole for that. Switch is installed. Cables are all hooked up on the negative side, all hooked up on the positive side. So pretty much now what I need to do is wire in all the 12 volt. Hook up the 2 fuse boxes and the bus bar for the 12 volt. And then the fan controller, which is also hooked up to the 12 volt. Okay, for the 12 volt system, I guess first thing I'll be doing is mounting the bus bar, and then the fuse box will be over there. But for that, I'm going to be using hot glue. I'm going to put quite a bit on it behind. It's Gorilla Glue, so I mean it holds on hair, so it should be able to hold this on. Wiring up the cigarette lighter. That one I'm gonna do on an individual fuse. Ironically enough, the wire does come with its own fuse. I may end up changing that out eventually. I don't think I have any ring terminals. So at the moment it'll have double fuse protection on it. No big deal. Not a big deal to come back in and change the wire out, give me some ring terminals, shorten this. But yeah, I'm gonna hook that up and all the other accessories up front here. Did a little bit of cable management. It's looking a little bit better. You got on pretty much this side of the case, you got your positive, and the other side of the case, you got your negative leads. Well, anything that leads back to the back. There's all that. Got a couple extra ends there if I want to hook anything else up. I got them taped off at the moment. Next to last thing to do, I got to put in a temperature sensor right up there. Wired into positive, wired into the negative, and somewhere I have a positive lead. There should be. And the positive lead, and hook the fan up into it. Controller's a little funny. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any fan plugins into it, so I got to chop the wires on the end of that. No big deal. All right, it's starting to look pretty good. Did a little bit more wire management. Pretty much just need to add the solar charge controller. This is going to just go loosely in the box. This is a modular piece, much like the batteries that I'll be taking in and out. So pretty much this is my cavity for batteries. Solar charge controller is pretty easy to hook. Plugs into here on one end, and coming from the exterior of the box, the other end plugs here. So I'm gonna plug those in real quick. All right, moment of truth. All right, battery in, turn it on, and hopefully nothing goes boom. It's alive! It's alive! Oh my. Let's get off of it. Nice. You know what I forgot to do? I was wondering why that wasn't working there. I forgot to put in fuses. Alright, now that I actually have fuses in the thing, let's try that again. Okay, 12 volts working. USBs are all working. Can turn them off. Alright, inverter's going. It's going up in wattage. That doesn't make sense. It was reading backwards a little bit. That was because I put the shunt in backwards. You know, making sure you had the B battery on the B side. Yeah. Anyway, it's just a slight oversight of mine. I'm going to hook the 2 negative cables back up to that and power it back up. Haha, look at that. It actually shows drain. That's much better. Oh, it remembered my batteries. Nice. Cleaned up the wire quite a bit more. There was a 27-foot long cord that was connected to the shunt. Here she is now. That's now removed. Also removed the redundant fuses. I already got it covered on the fuse box, so don't need a double headache for when they're trying to diagnose something. So that's fixed up. Probably gonna shorten this cord quite a bit. Actually, it only needs to be about 1 inch or so there, so that'll eventually clean up. One of the things I'm going to do right now is to add Velcro in here to secure the batteries. That's just in case it's on the back of a truck or anything, so the batteries won't be bouncing in there, just totally annihilating the inside of the box. I'm going to add 2 of these. I'm going to use hot glue to glue them down. And that should hold them in pretty secure, I think, with 2 of them. Definitely shouldn't be any kind of movement or anything. Okay, got the 2 battery Velcro straps down. And while I was at it, I went ahead and added Velcro there instead of having that taped down. So that's better, it's more module. Basically any charger could be put there. That one's actually a little weak. It only usually puts off about 50 some watts. But then I also put in these other different compartments more Velcro straps to shorten the ends on these plug-ins, which this box has 3 of them. It's pretty easy. You just slide back the rubber cover there, And then there is 3 screws. It's tight fit. All 3 batteries are strapped in there. I need to adjust the amp hours here. Added 8 more, so it needs to be at 43. Set it to full. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how I charge this thing up. I'll take the extension cord that I keep inside of it out. Okay, I plug the extension cord into the house there. And then here in the back, just much like a weed whacker, I just plug it right back into the back end, just like that. Of course, for charging, I need to turn it on also. Now the system is charging. All right, it's not the fastest charger in the world. I would definitely, if these were empty, would take a while. But it was one I had available, and it fit just so perfectly in the slot right there. I don't know. I may end up upgrading to a higher end charger. This one looks like it's and I'm putting out about 50 watts or so. The inverter is also using about 10 watts. So an estimation on how long it'll take right now, it's predicting it would take looks like about 1 hour and 18 minutes there. And solar would do the same thing. Of course, it would be predicting all over the place because solar isn't a constant. Test it out. I'm gonna use the microwave here. It's one of the higher output items in the house. Plus, I always joke around about taking it camping. That and my wife's Keurig maker for coffee. I actually like using the Keurig for cocoa. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the popcorn. Give it a test. So using about 1400 watts there. Nice. Nice. Now I just gonna wait for the sun to come up. I'm gonna go out to the park and test the solar with them. All right, got it set up here now that the sun is out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the solar. Looks like after the system's usage, it's producing about 35 watts there. The system actually itself uses 3 or 4 watts, so it's producing about 40. Of course, I don't have it angled or anything, and it's in the middle of winter, so that's to be expected. Not too bad. Try to have a good day.